Nicolas Cage is so famous that he doesn't need to be introduced. He was the main character of many blockbuster movies for decades. The actor also made a hefty amount of money. It is estimated that between 1996 and 2011, he made $150 million. So much so that at one time, Forbes magazine listed Nicolas Cage as the highest paid actor of all times. But the party is over for Nicolas Cage, because right now, as we're talking, Nicolas Cage is broke. The actor is in financial distress and he had to pay a $6.2 million penalty to the tax authorities of the US. How did he get there? How could Nicolas Cage go from being the highest paid actor of all times to be completely broke now in 2022? And why do so many celebrities like him go bankrupt? Those are all the questions we're going to answer in this episode of Money Talk. Let's dive in. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button down there and activate the notification bell to never miss a new video. Alright, first of all, let me answer the question that I am sure you all have at this moment, which is, why am I wearing a Hawaiian shirt, given that I live in Switzerland, a place not adapted at all for Hawaiian shirts? And the answer is very simple, it's because I like the colors and it's comfortable. That being said, let's come back to Nicolas Cage. As I said, Nicolas Cage has been very famous, especially in the 80s, 90s and the year 2000s, where he got paid as much as $20 million for a single movie. And now he's completely broke and he has to attend the birthday parties of dangerous fans that he doesn't want to attend for $1 million. His financial demise can be summarized in one word: overspending. Which is also the reason why so many celebrities and even middle-class people go broke. But Nicolas Cage's overspending was eccentric, to say the least. And I can't resist the urge to tell you the long list of exotic purchases of Nicolas Cage. We first had 2 islands in the Bahamas, 50 cars and 30 motorcycles, 4 luxury yachts, because of course 1 yacht is not enough. If you're a millionaire, you need to have at least 3 yachts. Everybody knows that. A private jet, 15 estates homes around the world, and 2 European castles. But all of that are rather normal purchases. Let's see the really weird things that he bought. An octopus worth $200,000, a shark, a crocodile. He seems to like aquatic animals. A famous haunted house, a stolen dinosaur skull worth $300,000, and 2 albino cobras. And some people say that the albino cobras were used for sexual activities. Oh yeah, and he also bought shrunken pygmy heads, but nobody knows why. Things started to get really bad for Nicolas Cage by the end of the 2000s, when the IRS, which is the tax authorities of the US, gave him a huge penalty of more than $6 million. The actor immediately blamed his money manager for fraud and negligence. But of course, in that case, Nicolas Cage was the one at fault, because he was the one who did all that crazy overspending. Nicolas Cage is the cautionary tale of a very particular phenomenon. A phenomenon that makes millions and millions of people go broke. This phenomenon is called the Parkinson Law, and it is fairly easy to understand. The Parkinson Law states that if your income increases, so will your expenses. Your expenses will always grow at the same pace than your income, up until the moment that your expenses are exactly the same than your income. Or even worse, the expenses grow even faster than the income, which is exactly the case of Nicolas Cage. He suddenly received all that amount of money, $150 million, but he spent much more than $150 million with credit card and other types of debt. The Parkinson Law is the reason number 1 why so many people are broke. And it really applies to everybody, low income, middle income, and very high earners, such as celebrities. But we hear more about the stories of celebrities going broke because, of course, the proportions are much bigger. And actually, there are a lot of people who have high incomes, they are high earners, they are rich from an income perspective, but they are still broke because they are poor from a balance sheet perspective. Which means that those people have a high active income because of their jobs or occupation, but they do not own anything. They do not own any asset, which is something that puts money into your pocket consistently. And they only own liabilities, which are things that take money out of your pocket consistently. which is exactly the case of Nicolas Cage. He used 100% of his income to buy liabilities. Liabilities that later down the road backfired on him and made him bankrupt. And there is another interesting story showcasing the story of high earners actually being broke. It is the story of people working at Stratmon Oakmont. And all of you, 100% of you, heard about this company because it is a company created by Jordan Belfort, which is the story of the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort made sure that the employees spent all their money in unnecessary things such as exotic cars, big houses, or expensive parties. In that way, Jordan Belfort made sure that all the employees were constantly broke and needed the salary all the time to finance their expenses. And of course, when the company went down the tubes, almost all the employees ended up bankrupt because they lost their source of their active income. So remember, if you don't want to end up like Nicolas Cage, celebrities, or those Stratmon Oakmont employees, do not spend all your money. That is rule number 1. Always take at least 10% of your income to invest it into other things that will generate other sources of income. Those new sources of income can be generated through stocks, real estate, crypto, other businesses, or simply investing into yourself, investing to get new skills. New skills that will allow you to bring more value to the marketplace and therefore make more money. The idea is that you buy so many assets that put money into your pocket consistently that one day you have so much passive income that you don't need to work for money anymore. And it's only then that you buy luxuries such as an exotic car, a big house, nice vacations, and so on. But remember, before all of that, build your asset column. Think about it. If Nicolas Cage has saved only 10% of his income, only 10%, he would have invested $15 million. And let's assume that those $15 million will bring him 10% of passive income each and every year. He would make, at the moment, $1.5 million passively each year without doing anything. And that's only if he saved 10%. Imagine if he would have saved and invested 50% of his income. It could have been very possible for him. You live off with the 75 million and the other 75 million you invested. If Nicolas Cage had done that, he would be today financially free and he would not need to attend dubious, dangerous birthday parties. And the examples of celebrities that went bankrupt the same way that Nicolas Cage are really abundant. Johnny Depp, for example, and many, many others. All of that goes to show that it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you still have the poor mindset, you will end up broke, sooner or later. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You can make billions, but if you still have the poor mindset, you will end up poor, sooner or later. But there are counterexamples, examples of celebrities who first developed their financial literacy and could become as a result much, much wealthier. A few good examples are Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. When they were active in their careers, when they had a very high active income, they invested a big chunk of their income. They typically invested that money to build other businesses and also to invest in real and paper assets. For years, they kept investing a good chunk of their income, and nowadays they are billionaires. And you can do exactly the same. And that is the takeaway of the story of Nicolas Cage. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If that is the case, a little thumbs up is always appreciated. Do not forget to subscribe, and if there is any topic you want to cover in a future video, shoot me an email to the address that is in the description below. And I will see you soon.